Hello stock traders, I hope all of you had a fantastic week. In this video, I'm going to do a review of what happened from last week's picks. Now I know I didn't come out with the video, so definitely took some time off, but we are back up and running and you can expect these to continue every week. We also have a lot of different videos coming out, but I did take a week off as far as that goes. So I did come up with the top 7 last week, even though I didn't have a video. And if you were to have followed all those picks, you would have had a 1.13% gain for the week. Personally, I had a 2.63% loss. The reason being is that I had some stocks that really didn't perform well in my premium room. And so that's going to happen from time to time. Still had a decent month with a small gain, and so far so good. Okay, so month to date, if you followed all of the stocks from this top 7 list all month long, you would have had an 8.76% loss. So this is the first loss that we've had in 2021. All the other months have been positive. I'm going to cover that here in just a little bit. Year to date, personally, I am at a 64.96% gain. So I've been pretty flat lately, looking forward to better results in May, and I know we're going to get there. So let's do a review of the different months. In January, this list had a 6.61% gain. In February, it had a 26.87% gain. That was a really, really good month. In March, a 0.81% gain, really helped out by a particular pick that really did well. We had a drug get FDA approval, and that was AVEO. Sold it for an 81% gain, helped us to have success that month. In April, this list had an 8.76% loss, so our first loss of the year. All right, you might be asking yourselves, well, how did the picks do from last week? Well, let's cover each and every one of those. Number 7 was VERU, and it had a 1.43% loss. It has an upcoming phase data results coming out, and it hasn't run yet, but I do expect it will this week. It didn't do well last week, but I expect it to do very well this up and coming week. Number 6 is MASS, and this stock had recent activity by ARK, so lots of ARK buys on this one. It finished the week with a 0.13% gain. Number 5 is HRTX, and for the week it finished with a 1.77% gain. Number 4 was ZI, and it finished with a 0.06% loss. Number 3 was ADAP, and finished with a 4.04% gain. Number 2 was ETON, finished with a 5.1% gain. And number 1 was SKLZ, and it finished with a 1.61% loss. So I'm switching up how I do this list. In the past, we have done daily videos, and now we're switching to a weekly because that was just too hard for me to keep up with. Also, with the insiders and playing the insider swing play and going through that whole strategy, we had a lot of people on YouTube watching, entering too late, not getting a good entry point, and then the stock selling off and not having success. So that is why I have switched it to be longer term picks. So every single stock that's in this top 7 list is a stock that you can feel good about holding throughout the week and that I expect to do well in the long term. All right, let's do some highlights from some stocks sold this last week that are in our Patreon group. And the first is from our PDUFA run-up play. We had CYCN sold for a 9.23% gain. We had LMNL for a 30.2% gain. And we had ADCT for a 2.77% loss. Next, we have our different cryptocurrency picks. And there were no sales of merit this last week that are worth talking about, but we currently are in DOGE and are up 29.9%. In Ethereum, ETH up 13.48%, and this weekend it's even surging further. And in Dash, DASH up 5.51%. So those are some cryptos that are doing really well. Now let's highlight a couple of the premium plays that were sold. The first is CPSH, sold it for a 27.2% loss. It was just time to move on from this one. And last week we had APO sold for a 382% gain, which more than made up for that loss that we had on the other. And TAL, which was an earnings run-up play that we sold for a 68.96% gain. Those are option plays. This is not all of the picks from our Patreon group, but if you are looking for a group and get some good trading ideas, then I highly recommend you check it out. We have a link in the description down below with one great trade. It will more than pay for multiple months of the group. All right, now let's get to the top 7. Let's start with number 7, and number 7 is GBTC. This is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. This is a premium call out. My average in it is $53.45, so a little high, and so far since calling it out, it is down down 12.34%. But I am extremely bullish on BTC, on Bitcoin, and I'm expecting it to really move. And the Bitcoin Trust is a great ETF to be a part of. So this is unfortunately an OTC. So if you are not able to trade OTCs, you won't be able to trade this. But this is a really good place to put your money if you are expecting Bitcoin to move forward. I am expecting plus 100,000 per Bitcoin by the end of 2021. That would put the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust well over $100 per share. Also, Bitcoin has passed a key level. Lots of indicators that I look for that are bullish have been tripped over the last day. So this should really fly upwards next week. I'm expecting a nice recovery out of Bitcoin. All right, so let's go to the chart. And as you can see here, this is the daily chart on it. And you can see that we are seeing improving price action down here on the MACD. The RSI is not overbought in any way, shape, or form. So this is looking like a great entry point if you are looking to get into this. As you can see here on Friday, we got a little bit of a move, but there's just still so much to go. The next stock on the top 7 list is Surf Oncology. This is number 6, ticker symbol SURF, and this comes from our basic room. My average in it is $7.10, and since calling this out, it is up 2.96%. The reason why I like it is they have 2-phase data presentations happening on 6/4 through 6/8, and this should be a perfect run-up event. Let's go to the chart, but let's start with analyst targets. You can see here that all of them are extremely bullish. And we are way below that, so there's a lot of upside here. And as you look at the chart, we have a MACD positive cross down here, and we also have a really good RSI, so there's plenty of room for this to run. We have recently completed an ABC correction pattern that is pretty clear, and it looks like this is on its way upwards. This is a great time to enter this. I think this should be really good all the way up to the actual date. All right, now it's time for number 5, and this is BioLife Solutions, ticker symbol BLF. And this comes from our premium room. My average in it's $34.90. Since calling this out, it is up only 0.90%. We just added it. As you can see here, we have some positive signs as we look at the chart. I also like how earnings is coming up on this on May 13th. So this is one to watch. Comes up on May 13th in aftermarket. But as you can see here, we've had a MACD golden cross, and also the RSI is not overheated by any means, so this is still a great value. We also had a recent high of 47.97, so we could see a really nice recovery to that. And as you go to analysts, not a single analyst is bearish, so we have 9 different analysts that have price targets all the way from $50 to $65 for an average price target of $56.25. BioLife Services is one I think that's really going to do well all the way up to earnings. I'm expecting a really nice increase all the way till that time. Next is number 4, and this is Heron Therapeutics, ticker symbol HRTX. This comes from our basic room, and this is a PDUFA run-up play, and I'm expecting this one to continue to run, especially as we get closer to the date. My average in it is $16.81. Since calling this out, it is up 3.99%, but I'm expecting it to really climb. And the reason why is because they have a PDUFA date coming up on May 12th, and this is a very important drug, and also they received a CRL, a complete response letter, so I like that this is the second time around, and I'm expecting this to really fly. Their drug is for post-operative pain, and it's a non-opioid, so that's extremely important. I did an entire video on this. Let's go to the chart and take a look. As you can see here, that we have had the MACD golden cross, and it's losing a little bit of steam here, but we've had a nice price appreciation here, and I'm expecting this to continue all the way up to the date, so this should do really well. Analysts are very bullish, and we have an average $34 price target. So if you haven't entered this in yet, it is still a good value, being that the RSI is at 51, and so I could expect this to really increase. All right, now it's time for number 3, and this is 908 Devices, and this is ticker symbol MASS. This originated from our premium room, and this is a call out that I like for quite a few different reasons. My personal average in it is $52.10, and since calling this out, it is up 1.7%. First reason I like it is because the ARK funds are loading, and so I love it when ARK is paying attention to a stock and adding to a stock. It typically is very good for the stock price to have a big fund like that. Also, with ARK being an active ETF, this is something that is published, that is easily accessible to investors, and there are lots of investors who pay attention to those ARK buys. Another reason I like it is because they have upcoming earnings, and so I'm expecting a price anticipation move up all the way to their earnings date. The earnings date is May 13th in pre-market, and so we got a couple weeks here, and so I'm expecting those two things to really help it. As you can see here, all analysts are very strong behind it. We have 4 different analysts here with an average target price of $67.50. This still has so much room to run, and I think you could definitely make a lot of money with this one. All right, number 2 can be 2 different stocks, believe it or not, but I'm going to start with HUTMF. Now this is an OTC, so if you can't trade OTCs, a good replacement for number 2 is going to be MARA, M-A-R-A. This comes from our premium room, and this is again because of some key levels that Bitcoin has passed. My average in it is $7.03, and this has been a long hold for me as I'm expecting by the end of the year for Bitcoin to pass 100,000. Currently, I'm down 22.45%, but I'm not sweating that at all. I like HUT8 mining to really increase with price, especially as Bitcoin moves upwards. If Bitcoin were to double in price from its current levels, then HUTMF would actually do 10x. So they are a Bitcoin miner, and with all of those important levels being passed, I'm expecting this to really fly. Now, if you cannot trade OTCs, then MARA is a good substitute for this. I think MARA's price action will move similar to. All right, let's go to the chart and take a look at HUTMF. So it's HUTMF, HUT8 mining. Currently, it's at $5.45. So we are seeing price really improve here, and a previous high all the way up to $13 a share. Now, it is really pulled back, but I'm expecting it to recover and move way upwards. As you can see here, analysts are bullish on it also, $9.36 average. I'm expecting this really to move as Bitcoin moves upward. All right, number 1, here we go, is Eton Pharmaceuticals. Ticker symbol ETON, and this comes from our basic room. This was a call out there. My average in it is $8.25, and since calling this out, I am up 5.22%, but there is so much room to run. So the reason why I like Eton Pharmaceuticals is they have 3 upcoming PDUFA dates. I said 3 upcoming PDUFA dates. So I'm expecting the run up to be very serious on this stock. And so they have a PDUFA date of May 27th, another one on May 29th, and yet another on June 18th. And so this really fits the PDUFA run up strategy. Let's go to the chart. You can see what's happening here, and it's pretty exciting. So we have a MACD golden cross, but there is so much room to run. We have a previous high that is not from very long ago that was actually at $10.30. Would love to get to those levels. You can see on the RSI, this is starting to get a little bit overheated, but there's still some room to run up here for you if you are looking to get into this stock. With the 3 PDUFA dates, I'm expecting this really to run. And let's go to the analysts. Well, there's not a ton covering it, only 2, but we have an average of $13.50. And so that is very good for the stock price. Anyway, I think you can feel extremely safe by being invested in this. I think it's got lots of room to go, and this should be a great week to get in on this and ride the wave. I do a lot of work for this list, so if you could please do me a favor, please hit that most amazing and wonderful like button. Also, if you haven't done so before, please subscribe and turn on those bell notifications so that you don't miss out on one of these videos. I really appreciate all of you who subscribe and watch these videos. It means a lot to me. I really enjoy being able to do the research and different things on stocks that I get to do. I wish all of you the best trading on the stock market, and Raythoven out.